Have you ever found yourself in one of those moments where you just wish you could influence someone?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe it's trying to convince your boss you deserve that raise, you know? Or perhaps getting your child to actually eat their vegetables without a huge fight.
Yeah, or maybe getting a partner on board with, say, financial planning.
Exactly. We've all been there, right? And let's be honest, how often does it end up with both sides just digging their heels in?
hmm More convinced than ever that they were right all along.
It just turns into an argument mostly. But what if there were, like, simple but really powerful ways to swap that resistance for actual cooperation?
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Okay.
Our source material is a great summary, the top 5 takeaways, really, from Dale Carnegie's classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's timeless stuff.
It really is.
And our mission here in this deep dive is to pull out the most potent, actionable insights from it. Stuff that helps you navigate those tricky situations better.
So you walk away feeling genuinely informed, ready to use these ideas, but without feeling, like, totally overloaded.
Precisely. Well-informed, not overwhelmed.
Okay, let's get into it. The first big idea from Carnegie. And it sounds so simple, but it kind of flips how most of us operate. Arouse in the other person an eager want. The basic idea is the only way to really influence someone is to talk about what they want and then show them how to get it.
Sounds obvious, right? But think about it. How often do we actually pause and consider the other person's motives first?
Almost never, I'd guess. We're usually stuck on our own reasons.
Right. And living this principle, really living it, that's the game changer. The source uses this great analogy. 2 fishermen.
Ah, yes, I remember this one.
One thinks, well, I like strawberries and cream, so that's my bait. The other thinks, I don't fancy maggots, but fish sure do. So maggots it is.
And the winner is?
The one using the maggots, of course. You absolutely have to, as Carnegie puts it, bait the hook to suit the fish.
Okay, so how does that translate to people? Like the raise example.
Well, it's often useless just listing your reasons why you need more money. That's the strawberries and cream approach. Instead, you need to demonstrate why giving you a higher salary is actually in your boss's best interest.
How so?
Maybe how it helps them hit their targets, or boosts team morale, or increases productivity in a way they care about. It's a total perspective shift.
Wow, okay. So for a kid and, say, healthy eating, instead of eat your greens, they're good for you.
Exactly. Don't state your reasons. Show them their benefits.
Like what?
Like these carrots will give you super strength for the playground, or spinach helps you run super fast, like, Spider-Man. Connect it to their world.
Gotcha. And for the spouse and saving money.
Same principle. Don't just hammer on about your desire for financial security. Step back and ask, okay, how can I make this person want to do it?
Find your want.
Yes. What's their dream? Is it traveling the world, retiring early, more quality time with the kids? You connect the saving or investing to that eager want.
That shift in perspective, just seeing things from their angle, that feels huge, actually. A massive step towards being more influential.
It really is.
Maybe take a second. Right now, if you're listening, think of a situation in your own life. Someone you want to influence. How could you apply this? What's their eager want? It's kind of transformative when you start thinking that way. So finding their eager want is step 1. But, once you've maybe sparked that desire, how do you keep positive change going or encourage someone to, like, grow in a good direction?
Well, that leads perfectly into the second big takeaway. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to.
A fine reputation. Okay.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully subtle but really effective technique for encouraging positive change.
How does it work in practice?
Well, the source tells this fantastic story about a student, Tommy T. He was known as the school's bad boy, always fighting, disrespectful, you know the type.
Oh, yeah, every school has one.
So his new teacher, Mrs. Hopkins, was naturally a bit worried.
Huh?
But she didn't do the usual thing, scolding, laying down the law.
What does she do?
First day, she looks him right in the eye and says, Tommy, I understand you're a natural leader.
Wow, to the bad boy.
Yep. And then she adds, I'm going to depend on you to help me make this class the very best one in the school this year. And she kept reinforcing that idea.
And then what happened?
Tommy, having been given this fine reputation to live up to, didn't disappoint. He actually started becoming the leader she saw in him.
That's incredible. So the principle is, if you want someone to improve in some way, act as though they already have that quality.
That's it. It reminds me of that old saying, give a dog a bad name and you may as well hang him.
Right.
But try giving him a good name. and see what happens.
So going back to the spouse and saving example.
Exactly. Instead of criticizing, complaining about irresponsible spending, basically giving them a bad name, you try to encourage them. Emphasize times they have been resourceful or financially smart.
Point out the positive evidence.
Yes. You could even maybe entrust them with responsibility for a specific part of the budget. Give them that good reputation, that trust. They'll likely try really hard not to let you down. It builds their sense of capability.
That's a really different approach than just complaining. Okay, now this next one. This gets really interesting, especially for anyone who feels stuck in, like, arguments that go nowhere. Takeaway number 3 asks, can you ever really win an argument?
It's a good question, because often both people walk away feeling maybe they won't, but they're just more entrenched.
Right.
Nothing actually changes.
Yeah, that resistance thing again. Have you ever been in an argument where you just knew you were right, but the other person just wouldn't budge, maybe even dug in harder?
Oh, absolutely. And your gut reaction is usually to push back harder, right?
Totally, which usually makes it worse.
Precisely. So let's look at 2 different ways a couple might discuss investing money. Scenario 1, the argumentative way. One partner says something like, oh, honestly, you're just hopeless with money. Obviously, I'm the one with the economics degree here. If we keep spending like this, we'll be working forever. No, I've decided we're putting this money in the stock market.
Ouch. Yeah, I can see that not going well.
Right. Now compare that to scenario 2, the cooperative approach. One partner starts by saying something nice, like, wow, that suit looks great on you. Then gently brings up a shared dream. Hey, remember that couple we met in Sweden last year, the ones who retired at 40?
Uh-huh.
Didn't they say it all started when they just decided to invest, like, $100 a month into the stock market?
Completely different vibe. It's pretty clear which one is more likely to lead somewhere productive.
Clear as day, isn't it? Arguments often fail because, well, pride gets in the way. It's just really hard for someone to back down when they feel attacked or proven wrong, even if logically they might see your point. It becomes emotional.
So true. It's like an ego defense mechanism kicks in.
Exactly. So the counterintuitive technique Carnegie suggests is try to find points in the other person's argument that you can genuinely agree with first.
Find common ground, even in disagreement.
Yes. Validate what you can.
Yeah.
Then maybe let that specific point rest for a moment, and later gently introduce your perspective and its benefits. It kind of disarms them, makes them more open.
Avoid the direct confrontation. Okay, that makes sense. So if avoiding arguments is key, how do we get our ideas across effectively? Which brings us to takeaway number 4. Dramatize your ideas. Why are things like infomercials, so over the top sometimes? It's because just stating facts often isn't enough, is it?
Not at all. People respond to more than just logic. The truth, as Carnegie says, needs to be vivid, interesting, dramatic. It has to grab attention, stick in the mind.
Let's connect emotionally.
Precisely. It needs to capture their imagination.
Okay, so let's revisit the kids and a healthy eating example. Instead of just telling them broccoli makes you strong.
You show them. Make it dramatic. The source suggests watching Popeye together. Remember Popeye and his spinach?
Yeah. Instant strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not just giving them information. You're creating an experience, a memorable picture that makes the idea resonate.
I actually tried something like that with my nephew once. He hated broccoli. We pretended he was a super strength monster gobbling up power trees.
Hey, it worked.
It actually did. For a while, anyway. It made it fun, dramatic.
There you go. Dramatization.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about influencing people, making points effectively, but the book's title is How to Win Friends and Influence People. So let's shift to that winning friends part with our 5th takeaway. What are the real basics, the fundamentals for making people genuinely, like you?
Right, and the source boils it down to 3 core practices, plus a really important bonus tip. They're simple, but incredibly powerful.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, show a genuine interest in other people. Carnegie makes this point really starkly. He says, a person's toothache means more to him than a war in a foreign country that kills thousands of people.
Wow, that's blunt, but probably true.
It's a powerful reminder of human nature, isn't it? We are fundamentally interested in ourselves. So if you want people to like you, genuinely inquire about them, their lives, their interests, their problems. Ask questions and listen to the answers.
Makes sense. What's number 2?
Second, be a good listener. This flows right out of the first point. If you talk in terms of the other person's interests and you sincerely make them feel important just by paying attention, Carnegie claims you'll win more friends in 2 months than you could in a lifetime of trying to impress people with how important you are.
So less talking about yourself, more active listening.
Much more. Just listen. Truly absorb what they're saying. And number 3.
Number 3 is
Smile. Simple. Right. But think about a dog. Why does everyone love dogs?
their tails wagging, always happy to see you.
Exactly. They are, as the source puts it, the world's #1 friend winner because they show such sincere pleasure in our company. A real smile sends a clear message. I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you.
And that's infectious.
It really is. And it works even when they can't see you, like on a phone call. People can actually hear a smile in your voice. Try it sometime.
Okay, so genuine interest, good listening, and a sincere smile. Simple, but maybe often overlooked. What was the bonus tip?
The bonus. Remember names. Carnegie stresses that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language.
It feels good when someone remembers your name, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It shows you paid attention, that they mattered. So make an effort. Repeat their name when you first meet them. If it's tricky, don't be afraid to politely ask how it's spelled. This is especially true and appreciated with foreign names. It shows real respect.
That's a great point. It's such a small thing, but it clearly makes a big difference in making someone feel seen and valued. Okay, let's quickly recap those 5 big takeaways we covered.
Sounds good.
First, arouse in the other person an eager want. Figure out what they desire. Second, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to see the best in them. Third, the only way to get the best of an argument is actually to avoid it.
Fourth, dramatize your ideas and make them vivid and memorable.
And fifth, those ways to make people like you. Show genuine interest, be a good listener, smile, and that bonus, remember their name.
Perfect. And, if you were listening closely when we talked about avoiding arguments, there was a sort of hidden bonus technique in there, too.
Oh, what was that?
It's the idea of always trying to start a conversation by getting the other person saying yes, yes. Ask questions they'll agree with up front.
What does that do?
It gets them into an affirmative frame of mind, nodding along psychologically. It lowers resistance before you even get to the point you want to discuss. It sets a positive, agreeable tone right from the start.
Subtle but smart. The amazing thing about these Carnegie principles is just how simple and enduring they are. They really haven't aged, have they?
Not at all. And the common thread, really, through all of them is about genuinely understanding and valuing the other person's viewpoint, their feelings, their desires. It's not about trickery.
No, it feels more like genuine connection and mutual respect.
Exactly. And that's why they work. These are truly actionable insights. Applying them can genuinely shift your interactions, moving away from pointless conflict towards, meaningful cooperation and connection.
It really drives home that knowledge isn't much use unless you understand it and actually apply it.
Right. Application is everything.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder. Think about one interaction you expect to have this coming week. Someone you might want to influence or just connect better with. How could applying just one of these ideas, maybe focusing on their eager want, or giving them a fine reputation, or even just consciously smiling and listening more intently, how might that change the dynamic? Give it a try. Observe what happens. You might be surprised.